John Diddy Combs,
Right.
would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they do. He's still in jail or something. But he was celebrating a victory, but he seems, I guess it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great. And seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you, sir.
And
Yes.
it's hard, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment, right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know, it's more difficult. It makes it more, I'm being honest, it makes it more difficult to do.
But more likely a no for Combs?
The Diddy case just took another absolutely insane turn. And honestly, what I'm about to share with you might be the most shocking development in this entire saga. If you thought this story couldn't get any crazier, you were completely wrong. Make sure you stick around, because by the end of this video, your entire perspective on this case might change forever. So here's where things get absolutely wild. There's been serious talk about a potential presidential pardon for Diddy, and the conversations happening behind closed doors are nothing short of explosive.
Official declined to comment on, quote, speculation and told us any decision on pardons would come from the president himself. Combs' attorney, Mark Agnifilo, said he has not talked to the Trump administration about it. You mean to tell me that...
Word on the street is that people in Diddy's inner circle have been discussing this possibility for years, not just recently. This wasn't some desperate last-minute idea. Allegedly, this was part of a long-term strategy that goes way deeper than anyone imagined. But here's where the plot takes the most unexpected twist you could imagine. The relationship between Trump and Diddy used to be completely different. We're talking about a friendship that included private parties, business discussions, and mutual respect. But something happened that flipped this entire dynamic on its head, and the reasons behind this change are absolutely fascinating. Politics didn't just affect their relationship, it completely destroyed it.
Tell me that you really have nothing to do with a possible pardon right now?
Nothing. I have nothing to do with a possible pardon.
What is Sean Combs saying about the possibility of the pardon?
I think he knows I'm not political. We've never discussed it other than I tell him what's in the news about it. But
And what's his reaction? Does he laugh? Does he say, let's look into it? What does he say?
Go tell him that I need a pardon. Go tell him I deserve a pardon. That's what he said.
How are you preparing him?
So I tell him what the guidelines are, and the guidelines are about 2 or 3 years. And I tell him, the judge could go above the guidelines.
Do you have any regrets in how you tried this case?
It's a good question. Not really. Not really.
You called the relationship between Combs and Ventura a great modern love story. Ventura says she was raped, physically abused, and became addicted to drugs because of Combs.
I think that's what makes it. We vehemently deny. And I know I respect that she said that. I don't think the jury concluded that happened. In terms of the drugs and the other stuff, I think that's what makes it a modern love story. I think she very much loved him, and I know he very much loved her.
Cassie Ventura's attorney told us that Agnifilo's description of the relationship is a, quote, complete disgrace and affront to survivors of domestic violence.
The backstory here is mind-blowing because we're seeing how past words and actions are now coming back in the most dramatic way possible. When celebrities enter the political arena, every statement gets remembered, every stance gets cataloged, and in this case, those political positions might have sealed someone's fate in ways they never anticipated. Now can we talk about the most genius-level petty behavior happening? In this entire situation, 50 Cent has been playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, and his strategy is absolutely brilliant. This man has been systematically reminding everyone about past controversies, not randomly, but with surgical precision. Every social media post, every reminder, every throwback clip he shares is calculated to influence public opinion and political decisions. The level of strategic thinking behind this social media campaign is honestly impressive. The street perspective on this situation reveals layers that most people don't understand. When you hear from people who were actually part of this world, the story becomes much more complex than what we see in headlines.
Good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up. From what I read, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. You know, it's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
The allegations about informants, protection, and behind-the-scenes deals sound like something out of a movie. But when these claims come from people who were actually there, you start to wonder what's really been happening for all these years. The legal reality of this situation is absolutely staggering. We're talking about bail offers that keep getting bigger and bigger, but courts that keep saying absolutely not.
It's not a popularity contest, so I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
The reasons behind these denials reveal just how serious the courts view this entire situation. When someone offers $50 million for bail and it still gets rejected, that tells you everything you need to know about how the legal system sees the risks involved. Just when you think you understand this case, the prosecution drops bombshells that change everything. They're not just asking for standard sentences. They want to make a statement that will echo through the entertainment industry for decades. The new allegations coming out, the civil lawsuits being filed, and the evidence being presented suggests this isn't just about one person's actions anymore.
Serious of a point, seeing what's going on. White men like Trump need to be banished. That way of thinking, it's real dangerous. This man literally threatened the lives of us and our families about going to vote.
Stand back and stand by.
Stand back and stand by.
Yeah.
We're in a war. We're not taking this like it's a war. We taking this like, oh, we're in a presidential election. No, we're in a war of love versus hate. The number one priority is to get Trump out of office. The tribe of people that have the responsibility and really should be scared to death of this man is white people.
Explain.
If this man is elected, we're not standing by no more getting killed. We're not scared of anybody standing up and standing by. We're on the verge of a race war.
This is about exposing an entire system that allegedly operated in shadows for years. The human impact of this situation cannot be ignored. When you hear from people who were allegedly affected by these actions, the story becomes about much more than celebrity drama or legal technicalities. These are real people with real experiences, and their voices are finally being heard in ways that might not have been possible before. The courage it takes to speak out against powerful figures in any industry is enormous. Industry insiders who predicted these developments years ago are now watching their warnings come true. The entertainment industry connections, the political implications, and the generational wealth at stake make this story about so much more than any individual case. When you step back and look at the bigger picture,
July, Combs was convicted on 2 prostitution-related charges, each carrying a maximum sentence of 10 years. He was found not guilty on the more serious racketeering charges.
Today's a great victory.
After the July verdict, prosecutors initially expected Combs would face a prison term of 4 to 5 years, according to CBS News. However, according to a written submission filed Thursday in a Manhattan federal court, as reported by the Associated Press, the expected sentence is now substantially higher. The submission also opposed Combs' request to be released on a $50 million bail ahead of his October 3rd sentencing. The filing also says Combs must remain in custody until sentencing unless he can prove exceptional circumstances, and according to prosecutors, he cannot. This comes after a previous bail request for $1 million was also denied following the verdict. A federal judge ruled there was no evidence to suggest Combs doesn't pose a danger to others or the community. With these latest developments, Combs will remain in jail until his sentencing on October 3rd.
This represents a moment where multiple worlds, entertainment, politics, and justice, are colliding in unprecedented ways. The timeline everyone needs to understand is crucial here. Even if certain political outcomes were possible, the legal process means we're looking at years, not months. A lot can happen during that time. People's political positions can change, new evidence can emerge, and public opinion can shift dramatically. The idea that anyone is guaranteed any particular outcome in this situation seems increasingly unlikely as more information comes to light. What makes this story even more fascinating is how it represents broader questions about power, accountability, and whether the same rules apply to everyone regardless of their status or connections. We're witnessing a case that might be studied for decades as an example of how celebrity culture, political influence, and the justice system interact in modern America. The ripple effects of this case are already being felt throughout the entertainment industry. Other celebrities are watching closely. Legal experts are analyzing every development, and the public is forming opinions that might influence similar cases for years to come. This isn't just about one person's legal troubles. This is about setting precedents that could change how these situations are handled in the future. So what does all this mean moving forward? The next few months are going to be absolutely wild. Whether you believe someone deserves a second chance or needs to face full consequences for their actions, one thing is clear. This case is going to have implications that reach far beyond any individual outcome. The questions it raises about power, justice, and accountability in America are conversations we'll be having for years to come. What do you think about everything that's happening? Are we witnessing justice finally being served? Or is this all just political theater playing out on the biggest stage possible? The complexity of this situation means there probably aren't any simple answers, but the discussions it's generating are absolutely necessary. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, but let's keep the conversation respectful because this situation affects real people and real families. If this breakdown helped you understand what's really happening behind all the headlines and social media noise, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that are shaping our culture, and hit that notification bell because this story is far from over. Trust me, the developments coming in the next few weeks might be even more shocking than what we've seen so far, and you definitely don't want to miss any of it.